Oh my God, Man United, you're saved. Brian Mbeumo for 70 million. Jesus. 70 million for Brian Mbeumo in 2025. The whole reason this transfer market is inflated, the whole reason why we're seeing unnecessary players get sold for 50 million like Noni Madueke is because Man United always come into these transfer negotiations and somehow pay double than anyone else would have. I remember Anthony. Oh, Man United put in a 30 mil bid. Oh, this other club put in a 40 mil bid. I go to sleep, I wake up, Man United have bought Anthony for 100 mil. I'm like, what the? Or what are you doing? And then the fans will tell you, oh, we're Man United. We go in there. We march in there and we buy whatever player we want. We don't care about the transfer fee. Oh, yeah, but when it comes to the kit man, you can't provide him a sandwich these days. Like, you can't feed your own employees. Tottenham flew out their whole staff to go watch the final. Meanwhile, Man United put the barbecue on hold, lads. Like they couldn't. It's like, oh yeah, we're gonna spend the extra 50 million on buying this player who's gonna be wank anyways, and then we're gonna loan him out to a Spanish club who's gonna be playing Champions League football or a European final, while we struggle to feed the kit man, or we struggle to feed our own players. You're telling Bruno Fernandes, bring your own lunch, and my man's like, what, like what is going on here? Like, you go out there and you give performances out. You're sitting in 15th, by the way, Bruno. But you can't even get fed. I'm telling you. Luton Town fed their players. The kit man got a sandwich, And then Man United, you'll play 100 million for a winger, loan him out for half the career, and then struggle to pay your own staff. Like, that's where we're at. This is what I'm saying. Because there's no way you have 70 million to give Brian Mbeumo, Brentford's best player. That's what people are going to do. Oh, it's Brentford's best player. Brentford's a mid-table relegation team. Come on. I think Saudi paid less for Ivan Toney. I'm not even going to lie. That's kind of crazy right there. You're outbidding Saudi when it comes to these players. No wonder my man looks so excited. He's like, oh my God, I don't even have to move to Saudi and I'm already going to get overpaid. Woo, 26 and retired, baby. But, now they're saying Man United are going to go after Sesko. Now, this is the thing about Sesko. I think Man United kind of fucked it here because, genuinely, you got Cunha, right? You're paying Cunha and Mbeumo together is almost 150, 140 million or in that territory. So it's Wolves' best player. Wolves somehow finished below Man United. Got the double off Man United though. And then Brentford, also another mid-table team. You went out and got those two players for over an excessive amount, over 100 million, close to 150 million. If you go back 3 years ago, you went after, two mid-table teams with their best player. You wouldn't even spend 40 million. But it's Man United, so they somehow spent almost 150 million for these two lads. And now you want to go after Sesko. So you already have the reputation of I'm going to overpay, pay for whatever except for the kit man sandwich. No Bravoli for you, man. No, no fish and chips out there, mate. Nope. You're going to starve yourself if you want to work for the mighty Man United. Yeah. Talk about the next Everton. But anyways, you want to go after this guy. So obviously, Arsenal felt like it was too expensive to go after Sesko. They went and got Gyökeres. So Arsenal's paid in excess of around 75 million in total. So they value him more than that player. And then Ekitike from Frankfurt, they think Sesko's the better player and he's got the better stats. And he went for almost 100 million. So if you're not willing to give at least 100 million, forget about Sesko. Meanwhile, in goal, you've got a goalkeeper who gave up over 40 goals last season. There's 38 games. That's at least more than one goal a game. More than one goal a game. And they've yet to replace him. I don't care if you spend 100 million on that goalkeeper, but he's literally playing against you. Every goal I see this man get conceded. I see more quality at the U18's Arsenal games, in goal, than what I see from Onana, and this guy was, over 40 million. At this point, give him the Anthony, give him the Sancho treatment, loan him out, and get a new goalkeeper in, because it's absolutely pathetic that you went from David De Gea, Van der Sar, quality goalkeepers, to that Muppet in goal. Jeez, and you're gonna give him another year. You're honestly closer to getting relegated with that goalkeeper. You might as well go out in the streets of Man United, of Manchester, and you pick out a random fan, and he'll give you more of a performance than Onana will. 100%. Striker's not your problem. You've already spent 71 million on Højlund. You've already spent almost 50 million on Xerxes. Get yourself a goalkeeper. Get yourself a defender. Get yourself a midfielder. Because look, this is the projected thing. And this is, let's take away Sesko and put in Højlund, because I don't think they're going to get Sesko. This is the projected thing. So, for me, the back line, it's going to be this, most likely. Goalkeeper, it's Onana for now. Martinez doesn't really have much of a motivation to be going there. But anyways, the fullbacks, it'll be either Dorgu, Masurari, Dallo, maybe Diallo. Depends what kind of mix. I understand. You can't really, when it comes to this right here, Man United, what they generally need to go in is Fernandes and Casemiro cannot start in the midfield. I think it's Ugarte and Mainu. And to be honest, I think you got to bring in somebody else. Try to get rid of Casemiro. I've always said with this new system, you should get rid of Bruno because he doesn't fit this system. If you're going to change the system, change the lineup, go ahead and keep him. But with this system / lineup, it doesn't work. If anything, I'd put Bruno here and move Mbeumo or Cunha at striker. But it's just not in the midfield. It's not going to work. I'm sorry to tell you, but they need to figure out what's their midfield, partnership, because that's the most important thing here. The midfield partnership. You need a balanced midfield of two. You're getting outnumbered in the midfield. So what's best is Ugarte and Mainu. Casemiro doesn't have the legs, and Bruno Fernandes doesn't have the work rates defensively. He's gonna be caught up here most of the time. So that's why Ugarte and Mainu would work best out of the current options. Fernandes goes to the right wing, and then Mbeumo and Cunha can figure themselves out here. See what's best. And then Dorgu and Diallo, whatever you think is best. But that's honestly the best way to go about it. But this, to me, man, you're genuinely gonna be struggling against the likes of Crystal Palace, the likes of Fulham. It's the truth. It's the truth. So if I were them, Man United, instead of a striker, you go out there and get yourself a solid midfielder and a goalkeeper. That's all you need, and then you might actually have a chance to finish on the top side of the table. Maybe I don't have to accept cookies when I'm looking at where Man United's at. But anyways, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below on what you think about Man United's transfer window. Do they need Sesko or do they need a goalkeeper and a midfielder? Let me know.